Hafaday Tirwami and good evening Commonwealth. Today is Monday, July 8th, 2013. The Attorney General stands by his Chief Prosecutor and defends her decision to go on a 5-day trip to the Northern Islands on a boat operated by a key criminal defendant.
Miss Shelli Neal is the Chief Prosecutor. I selected her because of her professionalism, because of her experience, and I trust her judgment, and I trust her ability to prosecute cases. And that has not changed. She remains the Chief Prosecutor of the Criminal Division of the Attorney General's Office.
Last week, Chief Prosecutor Shelli Neal went to Pagan on a boat operated by former Deputy Police Commissioner Ambrosio Ogumuro. Ogumuro is currently facing criminal charges in Superior Court and is the subject of ongoing investigations by DPS and the AG's office. Neal returned on Sunday and was back in the office today. Attorney General Joyce Nicholas says that while he acknowledges concerns about the Chief Prosecutor being on a boat with a criminal defendant, he's confident that she didn't violate any rules or compromise any investigation.
I spoke to her this morning, and I've spoken to her in the past, and I don't feel that there's any evidence that, yes, it's close quarters, but it's her. The burden is on her, and she has not divulged any information to anybody with respect to any investigation.
In an interview last week, Police Commissioner James De Leon Guerrero questioned Neal's sincerity about working with DPS. He also questioned her judgment.
We know that Mr. Ogumuro has pending cases before the Superior Court. It is something that everyone should have better judgment on. It is my only hope that, an activity such as this will not in any way compromise some of the investigations that may be ongoing.
De Leon Guerrero also said if it were up to him, the Chief Prosecutor would be removed immediately. So Nicholas.
I really do have a fond respect for Commissioner De Leon Guerrero, and I anticipate that he will have some concerns to share with me. We have not spoken in a meeting just yet, and I'm prepared to talk to him about it. But my response to his recommendation to remove Ms. Neal from the Chief Prosecutor position is I will not do that. I will not do that.
Asked to address public concerns about Neal's ability to continue as Chief Prosecutor,
I would ask for the public's consideration and really understanding here, because Miss Neal is in my estimation a very, very qualified Chief Prosecutor, and I'm very happy to have her on my team. And if this incident has caused people to second guess her ability, I would ask you to reconsider, because I'm very confident in her abilities, and I stand by her.
And according to the AG, Neal paid her own way for this trip. He estimates about a couple $100s. We were not able to interview Neal on camera today, but in a phone interview she says the boat was chartered by KKMP's Rosamond Santos and Gary Sword, who are personal friends. She also says she gave the money to them, not Ogumuro, but declines to say how much. The AG, meanwhile, recuses himself and his entire office from prosecuting Ogumuro and 3 other co-defendants in the pending case, and he designates the special prosecutor who's been working that case for nearly a year. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court ruled that the Superior Court should have held a hearing prior to disqualifying the AG's office from prosecuting the alleged co-conspirators of former AG Ed Buckingham. The ruling came in response to a petition by the AG.
I felt it was important for the office that there be a determination by our courts as to whether or not the Attorney General has a right to due process before his duties under the Constitution are taken from him, and that's basically how we position ourselves.
The 4 public officials that the Superior Court disqualified the AG's office from prosecuting include Ambrosio Ogumuro, Jermaine Nakaifis, Jordan Kosam, and John Rebuenag. But weeks ahead of the hearing ordered by the High Court, in a letter dated July 3rd, Nicholas recused his office and appointed Attorney George Hasselback from the Public Auditor's Office. Hasselback was previously appointed special prosecutor by the lower court and is currently also prosecuting Buckingham and former Governor Ben Fitzgerald.
There had already been a significant amount of work. He recognized that work had been done in good faith based upon the disqualification of his office by the Superior Court. So he made this appointment retroactive such that He is appointing me as a special prosecutor retroactive to the beginning of those proceedings.
The AG says his decision to appoint Hasselbeck for the cases involving Ogumero and the other co-defendants is unrelated to Chief Prosecutor Shelli Neal's recent trip to Pagan, and it's a matter he's been discussing with Hasselbeck for weeks. According to his letter, his interest in appointing Hasselbeck was to minimize waste of government resources and avoid the appearance of impropriety.